Good afternoon. I want to welcome everyone to our February the 27th, 2024 City of Little Rock Board Agenda meeting to set the agenda for the March 5th, 2024 City Board of Directors meeting. We have two presentations before we go to the agenda. Also, just for purposes, so we don't have to go through it during the agenda, per the request of City Director Adcock, we're going to hold separate for March 5th items 18 and 21. Items 18 and 21 will be held separate for the March 5th. So no need to go through that today, but we'll hold that separate unless there's a imperative question. 18 and 21. We'll now have a brief presentation from Summit Utilities.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, thank you for the invitation to come and speak with you about the rate case that Summit Utilities has filed. My name is Brian Bowen. Can you all hear? Is that better? Okay.
Yes, Mr. Bowen.
Thank you. My name is Brian Bowen. I'm the Senior Director of External Affairs for Summit Utilities. Again, we thank you for the opportunity to come and talk to you about the rate case that was recently filed. And I'm also going to very briefly touch on something that we have found in our outreach to the communities that seems to be a little bit confusing. And that's the difference between a rate case and the cost of gas filings that we file 2 times per year. With that, I'd like to start with a brief overview of what a rate case is. Utility companies in the state of Arkansas are regulated by a body known as the Arkansas Public Service Commission. It is their responsibility to ensure that our rates are just and reasonable. When a rate case is filed, they consider information and testimony that is filed by the company. There are opportunities for what we call interveners to file their information with the PSC to consider as well. 2 of the primary or key parties that we see filing responses in rate cases are the Attorney General's office, and customers or businesses in the community have a right to intervene as well in those cases. Arkansas law requires utility rates be reasonable for the utility to provide safe and reliable services, and that the utility be allowed to generate reasonable revenues to keep the utility financially healthy. The entire process is transparent. It offers the public the opportunity to provide public comments and/or intervene in the rate case. And once the rate case is filed, the entire process takes approximately 10 months before the Public Service Commission makes its ultimate and final decision. What is the difference between a rate case and a cost of gas filing? A rate case sets the amount that we as the utility may charge our customers for delivering the services reliably that we deliver, which include maintaining our pipeline system, 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 365 days a year emergency responses, and our call center. A cost of gas filing is a filing with the PSC, or Arkansas Public Service Commission, to adjust the amount customers pay for the gas purchased by the utility for the benefit of the customer. It is determined by market conditions and market prices. These prices are not set by the utility, and we do not make any profit from this. To give you an idea of what the rates pay for your rates, we have provided examples of how your rate dollars are used. We use them for efficient response times for our call center. Right now, our average wait time for our call center is under 30 seconds. Again, it provides 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 365-day-a-year emergency responses for leaks or other natural disasters, such as the tornado that we experienced almost a year ago. Investments in technology to monitor our system, to monitor the safety of it, and to make repairs as necessary. Educational programs to train our contractors and customers in the community about the programs that we offer and the services that we provide, and local operations offices for our technicians to operate out of so that they can efficiently serve our customers in a timely and safe manner. As part of the acquisition agreement, when Summit purchased CenterPoint Utilities, the Arkansas Public Service Commission mandated that we come back in for a rate case no later than April of 2024. We filed this rate case in January of 2024. The primary drivers of our request for rate adjustments are capital investments that we have made since purchasing CenterPoint to improve the safety and reliability of our system, inflation, and regulatory lag that was created by the settlement terms in the acquisition agreement. Approximately 82% of our rate case increase is a result of regulatory lag from a decision made by the Public Service Commission during the acquisition and per the terms of the settlement agreement. Specifically, the Arkansas Public Service Commission disallowed what was known as a formulary rate plan, which allows Summit to recover cost of investments. What does this rate, what does this rate increase mean for our customers? A typical residential customer using 45 CCFs per month, or that's the measurement of how we measure gas used in homes and businesses, will experience a total monthly bill increase of about $18.50 per month. A typical small commercial sales customer who purchases their gas from Summit Utilities as opposed to directly from a transport company and uses 220 CCFs per month will experience a total monthly bill increase of $28 per month. Our proposed base rate increase for our larger commercial customers on the SUA portion or distribution charges of their total energy cost is about 65%, but that 65% on average will have less than a 5% increase to the total bill for our large commercial customers. What are some of the benefits of having natural gas in Arkansas? It positions us and Arkansans to help with supporting the energy needs and demands of Arkansas. It takes all sources of energy to power our cities and industrial projects in the state. We deliver safe, reliable, and affordable energy for our customers in Arkansas, and we offer an energy choice for the citizens of our state. Again, thank you for the opportunity to come and give you an overview of what a rate case is. I'm happy to answer any questions, and if I am unable to answer your questions, I will come back to you with an answer from the experts that were unable to attend today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bowen. We do appreciate you coming before us. I know this was a request of City Director Antoine Phillips to make the board abreast to these forthcoming rate increases for the residents of Little Rock. Director Richardson.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for your presentation. I have a somewhat conflicting question. You said rate cases are not used for revenues. Did I hear you correctly?
So cost of gas filings versus rate cases.
Okay, and at one point you said the rate cases are used for, can you quantify reasonable revenues? That could be a moving target. I thought I heard you say that earlier in your presentation, and that could be a moving target. You said that they're not used, that they're used for reasonable revenues, and that could be a moving target. So can you quantify that for me, please? And that may be an unfair question for you.
It is a very hard to quantify question. I'm happy to get with our regulatory team to give you some parameters on what the Public Service Commission would consider as reasonable revenues, but they look at the overall financial health. And the goal is not to have a utility over earning or under earning. So they look at, for lack of a better word, kind of finding that sweet spot.
Got you. Well, thank you. I'd like to see that quantified a bit as we proceed. And thank you for your presentation.
Thank you for
Mayor.
your question, sir.
Director Warwick.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to tag on Director Richardson and his questions, a little bit different, but I have to say I'm an all-electric person. I do not have gas to my home, and it's simply because I would have had to place a mile of gas to get to my home, so I went all-electric. So I didn't feel the pain from what happened last year when individuals were getting all of these bills for rate increases. I mean, I heard as much as $900. I mean, I heard lots of increased charges for our customers. And I think that's why Director Phillips wanted to have an idea what impact this would have on our citizens again. So when I look at this and I see that some of this is the result of a regulatory lag. Is that because you came out with new rates last year and the PSC said, no, pull them back? And so that you're trying to build up what you did not get last year? And will it be at the same rates that it was last year? This $18.48 and $28 doesn't seem to be a huge amount in regard to what we saw or heard last year. So how can you quantify what the difference is last year and what's going to happen if this is approved?
Sure. So I need to break that down into two parts.
Okay.
The primary, actually the only reason that residents saw an increase in their bills last winter was due to the commodity cost of gas, which is that pass-through price. So the amount of gas that a customer uses, there are two charges, put simply, on bills. There is the distribution and customer charge, and there is a cost of gas charge. And the cost of gas is not set by Summit. We go and purchase gas off of the market, and that price is passed through to our customers. Last winter, the cost of gas was astronomical, to put it simply. These rate increases we are requesting increases on our distribution and customer rates. We have not had a rate increase since the acquisition of the company in 2022. The PSC set rates at that time. If memory serves me, the last rate case that CenterPoint would have done, I believe, was 2016. So those are two very different issues. One, again, our distribution rates or a rate case is approved by the PSC. We make filings with the PSC to say this is what our cost of gas is based on what we had to purchase from the marketplace. And again, the increase that our customers saw last winter was due to the commodity cost of gas. Thankfully, it has gone down significantly. It went down this winter by comparison to last winter. It went down significantly last summer. Our next filing on cost of gas with the PSC will be in about a month. While I can't predict exactly what it's going to be, we are still seeing downward trends in the cost of gas, which will benefit our customers. And did that answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of words. I guess what I worry about is, you've got several things that you're talking about. You're talking about pass-through cost of gas. You're talking about, what the ratepayers are going to have to do. But the bottom line is it impacts the citizens, regardless of whether it's an increasing in your cost of gas or whether it's this kind of increase. So I'm really trying to quantify, you know, what this $18.48 and this $28 might mean to our customers in the city.
So if our rate case or the amount that we have requested through the Public Service Commission is approved, we anticipate or expect that to be the impact to the average customer in Arkansas. So a residential customer would see their total bill increase about $18.48 a month. Our small commercial customers would see about a $28 per month increase to their bills.
But what happens if next month your cost of gas goes up? Then what do you do about that?
Again, that's a pass-through, and that would be outside of our control because we purchased for the benefit of our customers and pass that cost on. So that cost is a raw cost for purchasing gas to run through our system.
And I think the key word there is you pass it on. And you pass it on to the customers that you're fixing to do, or you're wanting to do this rate increase for.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, it's two different pockets of money for you, but if I'm sitting down here, and I've already said I don't have gas, but if I'm sitting here and I'm getting a bill, it makes no difference to me if it's a pass-through cost for you, if you're going to send it back to me, or if you're raising the rates here. It all comes out the same pocketbook back home.
Yes, ma'am, it does.
That's what I'm trying to quantify.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I really worried about was the regulatory lag, in that you might be going back to pick up from what happened last year that you had to roll back the rates for. But apparently
We did not roll back rates last year. We have not been in for a rate case. This is our first rate case since we have purchased the company.
you're talking about rates, and I'm talking about cost to the individual.
Yes, ma'am. So maybe it would be helpful for me to, again, kind of walk through cost of gas. That cost of gas is adjusted twice per year by Summit, and that's based on the market prices of the gas at the time that we make our filing. So we employ measures like hedging. We're making sure that we can get the lowest cost for the gas that we can. We put gas in storage where we have it available in anticipation of what usage is going to be for our customers. But that price is not controlled by Summit. We have no control over the price of gas that we purchase. It's purchased off the market, no different than soybeans or corn would be purchased as a commodity. The difference between the cost of gas and the rate increase is our rate increase is how we as a company operate. It operates our call centers. It provides employment for our employees. It provides repairs, necessary repairs for our pipelines, our meters, et cetera. So that is, and I hope that answers your question a little more clearly.
I understand this is a rate increase. You hadn't had a rate increase since 2022, and it's not a result of what happened last year.
Yes, ma'am. Correct.
The gas increase. I get that. But I didn't know that until I asked the question. When I see regulatory lag, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, is this what happened last year and you're trying to catch up?
No,
I get
yes.
the two different accounting things that you're addressing here. The bottom line is whether it's passed through to you or whether it's this rate increase, it's one pocketbook that it's hidden.
Yes, ma'am.
But you gave me clarification that I wanted. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Director Miller?
Thank you, Mayor, and Mr. Bowen, thank you for your presentation today. Just one question. Are you or someone at Summit willing to make presentations to neighborhood groups?
Absolutely.
Okay. Would you be the contact person for that?
Yes, sir, I would. And thank you for that invitation. And we have been doing our roadshows as well. So if there is somebody that you have in mind that you'd like to talk to us to, and this goes for all of the board members, we want to be transparent in this process and are very willing to come and talk to the public about this.
I appreciate that. Sometimes they want to hear it directly from the utility.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Director Miller. Mr. City Attorney, did you have a question?
I just had one question. You mentioned that a lot of expense was incurred by the utility, and that, I think you said that that did have an impact on customers last year because the utility was making significant infrastructure changes.
I wouldn't say changes. We continued to make improvements to our system and investments in our system from the purchase date of 2021, 2022, when the settlement agreement was approved by the PSC. So we continued to make those investments. However, at the time, the PSC disallowed what is called an FRP, and that is a recovery method for utilities to recover for repairs and investments to their systems, knowing that we would have to come back in for a rate case within a 2-year period, right? And again, which was mandated by our settlement agreement with the PSC to come back in April of 2024. So from 2022 to 2024, we have not been able to recover those investments that we have made in our pipelines, our meters, et cetera.
Was Summit aware of the amount of investment that was going to have to be made when it decided to buy CenterPoint?
I don't know the answer to that, but I'm happy to get you one.
I'd be interested because if it was aware of it and that made it a better deal for Summit to purchase, then it seems unfair to pass any of that on to the customer.
Director Richardson.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I agree with our city attorney. I just wanted to follow up on Director Miller's request to talk to neighborhood groups. I think it's best for them to hear from someone who knows knows how to dot the I's and cross the T's. And I think Director Wyrick and I, we all just learned something that I couldn't tell a constituent of mine if they called me and asked me the questions that we're asking you. So I would want to follow up with Director Miller's request that you're prepared, or someone from your organization be prepared to meet with neighborhood groups who have lots and lots of questions and concerns about what we're talking about here today. We get the phone calls, I know you're getting them too, but someone who can explain it to them like they're a third grader.
Yes, sir.
And break it down as simple as possible so that we can all understand. So I just wanted to follow up on that. And I agree with Mr. Carpenter's point about knowledge prior to, with respect to the pass-through.
Thank you so much. And as we get ready to transition now, Mr. Bowen, just a quick question, and if you don't know, then answer immediately. Would you say population-wise that the Little Rock customer base is the largest in Summit's Arkansas customer base?
So Central Arkansas as a whole is, yes, sir, which would include Little Rock, North Little Rock, Maumelle, Benton, Cabot, Jacksonville area. Yes, sir.
So Central Arkansas would be the largest customer base in Arkansas, of which Little Rock would probably have the most customers of Central Arkansas.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, have a great day.
Thank you all so much again for your invitation, and I'm happy to come talk to any groups that you feel necessary that we come and address the issue with.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Bowen. Members of the board, on March the 5th, we will have a presentation on our 2024 solar eclipse events. Also, as we approach this weekend, please give a lot of kudos to our Little Rock Marathons team, led by Geneva and others. I'm very grateful for them and all the great work that they're doing. They work around the clock and around the year for this, and we know how much it has an impact, not only from a tourism, quality of life place and entertainment standpoint, but we'll have thousands of people here in the city, not only to run, but to watch their fellow runners run. And we're excited about that. So please give kudos to the entire team on Little Rock Marathon, because we're very grateful for their work. Members of the board, are there any questions on the consent agenda 1 through 7? Any questions on the consent agenda 1 through 7? Seeing none, we'll now transition to planning development items. I know
Mayor.
Director, one sec, Director Adcock already had her hand up, then we'll go to Director Wyrick. Director Adcock? You had a question, Director Adcock, you want?
BJ, was you going to answer questions on?
Item 1.
So you're going to pass, all right, Director Wyrick?
I don't think she's going to pass. I think she realized that mine was before hers, but I don't know how she knew that. She knows a lot about me. Item number 1, we're talking about street resurfacing. Is there going to be a list of locations that's going to be published on our website or somewhere? So
Yes, and we're getting that to you right now.
what?
We'll be getting that to you.
Right. That's,
No, it's fine. We'll get it.
it is online? Okay. Okay, good. So it's online. Thank you. That's what I needed to know.
All right, Director Adcock? Director Adcock?
On the, on the item 18, I've asked staff to give me some more information on that. I believe that this is a problem that we've had with this individual for the last 2 or 3 years. And this is the entrance to a neighborhood, to Windermere. And I can't see how staff would want to do an auto repair shop at the entrance to a very established neighborhood. So I've asked for some more information on that I hope I have by next week.
Yes, ma'am. Any questions on, more questions on items 9 through 21? Any questions on items 9 through 21? Any questions on items 9 through 21?
BJ, are you going to do 21?
I'm going to do 22.
No, 21. Mm-hmm.
Director Wyrick, you have a question on 21? I know Director Adcock asked for that to be held. Is there something staff needs to do in preparation for that separation?
Oh, I'm sorry, they've changed it to 22.
So not 21.
It's not 21, it's 22.
So we're not holding separate 21, Director Adcock.
No, we're holding separate 22, and it's already separate, but we have questions.
Okay, we will not hold, Madam Clerk, I know I said earlier to hold separate item 21.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, we will do 21. That's the one that Director Lance Hines would like to have separate.
In Ward 6,
Yes,
We know what the issues are.
that's the mini storages.
are you aware of any issues in Ward 6 for item 21, Director Lewis?
Asking what are the issues, because if planning approve or recommends approval and everyone voted A, and I haven't received complaints, I'm just curious.
Director Peck?
Sorry, yes, and I talked to Director Hines about this, and he has some concerns about the number of mini storage units we already have, and I shared that with him, and so he's obviously not here and asked that it would be held separate.
All right. All right. Separate items 22 to 23. Director Wyrick?
Yeah, I never got my hand up, did I?
I just heard you say you were interested in 22.
Item 22, Joan and I have been independently with the developer on item 22, and this is 2.2 acres of property, and it's kind of split up into different parcels. And one of the things that I had some concerns about was there were a couple of PCDs on here that we had negotiated to get, and we were, we'd like, this is on University, and we'd love for University to look better than what it does, and we'd love to have new development on University. And so our desire was to make sure that this application was something that would help improve the neighborhood, because this is pretty close to the entrance to Meadowcliff Brookwood neighborhood. It's going to C4, and one of the things that I think we need to start talking about when we get straight zoning, we used to talk about it a lot, was what landscaping ordinances kick in when we have straight zoning. And as it turns out, this particular application is going to C4, and there are some landscaping items that kick in. So in the future, when we're looking at going to straight C3 or C4, I'd like something in the write-up to talk about what the developer or applicant has to do. In this case, Mr. White gave us a document that reflects trees and landscaping, and he's going to put in a, backside of it is on a street called 63rd Street, and it's kind of sloping down into the street. It's an unimproved street. And so to make the delineation between the new application and 63rd Street, they're going to put in a wall, a brick or block wall with chain link fencing, and then put some landscaping behind it, and do some landscaping on the front, and then landscaping in between parking. And so Joan and I feel like we've got a better development here. At least it appears on paper to look better. So I wanted to give this to Jamie Collins and let him enter it into the record, so we make sure that we have the landscaping design that the developer has already agreed to do. So that's what's going on with item 22.
All right, thank you so much. Seeing no other questions, I do believe that Vice Mayor Kathy Webb is going to want to introduce the Food Desert Commission that we collaboratively work together, and that she is the chair of the Food Desert Task Force. I'm very grateful for her leadership alongside all the Food Desert Task Force commissioners. Vice Mayor Webb.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I passed out the copies of the draft, and if you would take a look over the next week or so, and then let me know if there are things that we need to change before we introduce this at the next agenda meeting. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much. That being said, any questions or concerns before we adjourn? Any questions or concerns before we adjourn? Any questions or concerns before we adjourn? Meeting adjourned.